Hello and welcome to the Wolf Den, or welcome back to the Wolf Den. I am today going to be talking about Bo Burnham's new special, Inside, and specifically breaking down some of the lyrics from That Funny Feeling, which is one of my favourite songs from the special. If you're new here, welcome. If you are a subscriber of mine, you'll know I've been away for a few months, and that has been something that has been constantly reoccurring during the pandemic. I've been having some sort of troubles and struggles and stuff like that, and it just kind of has taken me away from it. And then last week, Bo Burnham dropped his new special, and it just summed up so much of how I've been feeling and what I've been going through over the past year. And it's been scary and inspiring, and it's definitely made me feel like maybe I need to jump back into this and just sort of, pick up my creativity and that kind of thing. So I'm going to do that. And what I wanted to do with this video is just look into the song That Funny Feeling and break down some of the lyrics, because for me it's one of the best songs in the entire special, and it sort of encompasses all the ideas that he is kind of chatting about throughout the sort of 2-hour runtime. So I feel like if you didn't want to watch the whole thing, you could watch this song and it condenses it all and you could go through it. So yeah, so I'm going to be taking you through, I'm going to go through lyric by lyric, but I might cut it down to the actual video and just for time wise, and pick out some of the best parts and chat about it. It's going to be part explainer, part analysis, all my opinion, but as always, let me know if you agree, if you don't agree, and let's just jump into it.
There it is again, that funny feeling, that funny feeling.
Okay, so the first thing I want to chat about before I jump in lyric to lyric is just break down like what That Funny Feeling is about and what I think that funny feeling is. So I think that funny feeling for me is that kind of self-realization that you get, that dread of like you think about something for too long and you start to nitpick at the or kind of like just scratch away the paint a little bit and you think, oh god, this is terrible. It's that dread, that anxiety, not quite like full sort of oh my god panic mode, but that like, oh, this doesn't make sense mode, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think this is honestly, I love everything about this song. It sounds like if Bob Dylan were sort of making a song about 2021, how would it be?
I'm looking for somebody to sell my dog, collect my clip, buy my animal, and straighten out my bird.
Yeah, let's just jump into the very first lyric from the song. It's a stunning 8K resolution meditation app, and this is like the best way to start it, right? Because it juxtaposes those two ideas of like meditation, which is something like it's about the human condition, it's existed for as long as humans have probably, and then there's like stunning 8K resolution, which is the most brand new thing, and it's about like everything that we do now is so like technified. Everything that we do has like a digital element or a digital aspect, and he's like saying, there's meditation is about self-reflection, but you can now do it through your phone if you own the latest version. It's like that kind of commodifying human experience, and that's like a theme that runs throughout. So like the next line is in honor of the revolution is half off at the Gap, and he spoke about this earlier in that kind of like corporate piece where he speaks up being a brand consumer, where he was pretending to be like a Jack Dorsey or whoever, Silicon Valley type megalomaniac millionaire who thinks they can change the world through a tweet or whatever. But it's that like, the society is changing, but consumerism and capitalist culture and corporate sort of interests are so aligned now with society that they go, oh, you're doing a Black Lives Matter protest, here's a Black Lives Matter discount, or oh, here's a gay pride discount, or whatever. It's that like they use your society and your causes, your interests, your ethics to sell back to you. That runs through. There's a few other lines throughout the song that like really lean back into that, and then we get Deadpool self-awareness, loving parents, harmless fun. So that's quite like, I like this line. For me personally, it's that kind of like, he's saying like, you're super self-aware, you're self-conscious, you like kind of understand everything that's going on, but then there's that loving parents, harmless fun. And I think he's suggesting there like, I feel so apathetic and I feel so sort of down and depressed, but actually I feel almost as if I don't deserve to feel that way, because I've had like, I've grown up in a nice loving family, I've had like fun and all that kind of stuff, so I don't feel like my kind of existence and my kind of trauma is justified in a way. And then the next line is one of my absolute favourites, the backlash to the thing that's just begun. I find this all the time. So I go on Twitter, I see something's trending, I click on the trending tag, and all I see is like, oh my god, can't believe did this. And I never find the initial reaction, like the initial backlash. I just find the backlash to the backlash. It's like, can't believe people are saying this about this. And then I can't actually see the people that are saying that about that. And I don't, like, it's so easy now with the 24-hour news cycle. It's so quick. And he talks about this early on. He says, you know, everyone has opinion on everything, and people should just shut the fuck up. And basically, something happens, people backlash it, people backlash that, and it goes rolls and rolls and rolls for 24 hours, 2 days, whatever, and then it's gone because the next thing's come along. So there is like this kind of fickle sort of backlash and stuff that you find online, and I really, really enjoy that piece. That line there is really fun. And then the chorus is just repetition of that funny feeling, and it's kind of like, oh, I'm getting it again, I'm getting it again, I'm getting it again. And then we move into the second verse, and you've got the Surgeon General's pop-up shop, Robert Iger's face. So the first part, the Surgeon General's pop-up shop, I think that's like a big comment on like American healthcare, that kind of like corporate-owned interest of healthcare. So you couldn't get access to healthcare pre-pandemic because you couldn't afford it, or your insurance didn't pay out, or like you want to go and get something but it costs so much money. You know, the kind of the system in the US is very different to the system in the UK. But what he's kind of leading into here is that like, oh, but now there's actually a pandemic and a global health crisis. They had to pop up like shops to get people sort of treatment and health, and we have that here in the UK as well, to like kind of deal with the infection and all that kind of stuff. And I think here that kind of pop-up has been seen more as like mobilization and a bit more successful, whereas I think in the US it's been seen as kind of a reaction to a failing system for years. And then obviously Robert Iger's face, the CEO of Disney, I think he's just talking about, you know, why do you know who the CEO of Disney is? Why do you know who these like Jeffrey Bezos and those kind of people are? Like they're the kind of merging of corporate and celebrity. The kind of the CEO becomes a celebrity, so you buy more into the brand because you're more interested in all that kind of stuff. And then after that, Bugle's take on race, again leaning back into the Gap thing and the Bob Iger's thing, of being like, I think Bugle's, they're crisp, right? So why should a crisp be coming in on race and that kind of thing? It's because they know that people care about these issues, and that if you think, oh, Bugles care about race, I'm going to pick them up because Cheetos haven't said anything, so Cheetos must be the white supremacist crisp. I don't know, I found it really fun and really playful, and then like this, the whole thing runs throughout this verse. You've got like Female Colonel Sanders. It's like that kind of like, oh, the reaction to like gender equality, we'll just make Colonel Sanders female for a month or a year or whatever, that'll satiate it. There's no need for real sort of effort in any of this.
But how are you going to get through all of them?
Don't worry. Girls get it done.
And cut a rehearsal, no one move. No one move.
And that's why the sort of easy answer, Civil War. So we're saying like the easy answer is like, oh, we'll just do that. But then also like, where are we headed? The easy answer is there's going to be a civil war because of the culture clash and all that kind of stuff. I really, really like this. And then I get this feeling like from this, with these kind of like Bugle's take on race, like discount Etsy stuff, I feel like it's kind of somebody scrolling through their phone and like seeing like post after post after post, and they're just kind of disconnected but all connected in the same sort of way, and you see it and you go, oh, there's that feeling again. And this verse as well just has like some of the best lines in it. So the whole world at your fingertips, the ocean at your door, it's really awesome. I like that one because there's a climate change theme that also runs throughout this, and it's about, you know, you're not paying attention to what's going on in the wider world, you're literally just looking at your phone, which we're all guilty of. If you're watching me on a phone right now, thanks, please subscribe. But no, like we are all guilty of that, of sort of, and that's what the whole special is about, to be fair. It's about that overconsumption of media, which has become so personal and so ingrained in our day-to-day lives that you sort of miss the wider points of things. And then you move into the next bit and he's talking about 20,000 years of this, 7 more to go. So he's talking about, you know, potential for another ice age if we don't get down to net zero in the next 7 years, which is terrifying. And then I love this line, when he said this next bit, when it really hit me, and I think again it's probably a bit of a UK versus US kind of difference, but when he said this, it was like my mind was blown. So he had carpool karaoke, Stevie Aoki, Logan Paul, a gift shop at the gun range, a mass shooting at the mall. And the first line's like fun, ish, because you know I think Steve Aoki is in there because there's a rhyme. Carpool karaoke, I cannot see Bo Burnham enjoying that. I mean, he's spoken before about like lip sync battle and that kind of stuff, and I can't see that he enjoys two celebrities just singing a song in a car. I think he's sort of suggesting in a way like, oh, how dumb, especially when you move to Logan Paul at the end, who's also like a YouTuber, but he's very problematic, but he's also his rise to success has been meteoric, and he has so much influence. But realistically, like, what has he done to earn it? What does Logan Paul believe? Who knows? And then you just move into this next line, which is just chilling, which is a gift shop at the gun range, a mass shooting at the mall. So it's about like, oh, the gun range is a fun day out. And when he said this, I couldn't get out of my head that image of that little girl who was firing the Uzi and she pulled it back and she killed her instructor. And you just think like, oh, the gun range is a fun place to take your kid, the amusement park kind of element of it, and then, oh, boom, now like there is real human tragedy that comes from this sort of entertainment focused interest in firearms, which is great. I really, really like that line. It really hits me. And then we're straight into the chorus after that. I think it's one of the most poignant places to leave that line. Verse 3 is also very fun, and it's got some really good lines in it. So the first one, reading Pornhub's terms of service, going for a drive and obeying all the traffic laws in Grand Theft Auto 5. The first part's funny because like you go on to those websites for a very quick bit of satisfaction and gratification. No one's reading the terms of service. You get on and you get out, and also it's like, depending on your kind of morals and your beliefs, like it's a very problematic sort of, not just specifically that site because that's had its own problems in the past, but like the kind of porn industry is very problematic from a moral standpoint, if like to each individual based on their beliefs. But you know, the terms of service, what are you agreeing to? What is the contract you're getting into with these sort of sites when you jump on them, which is fun. And then going for a drive and obeying all traffic laws. Everybody has done this. It's more fun in Grand Theft Auto 5 where you're supposed to break the rules, to not break the rules by conforming to the rules. And it's so funny to have that kind of just put into words in the song like this. And the kind of, the next line's really poignant after, because he said about like going for a drive and you're thinking like, okay, he's escaped, he's outside, oh no, it's a video game, and then it's full of agoraphobic, losing focus, cover blown, a book on getting better, hand delivered by a drone. And obviously on the face of it, that lyric is really nice, and you're looking at like, it's scary because the human element of everything is being taken away by technology. But I really like the use of the book and the drone, because you're looking at like, the book is like a traditional form of media, and obviously a drone isn't media, but a drone is the next technological advancement. But with the book, like, there's no guarantee that the book that you're getting is you know, going to be effective, or going to be trustworthy. And it's so funny to think like, but it's more trusted, and there's this more kind of pining from people to go back to stuff. So like books, records, VHSs in time, I'm sure there's kind of nostalgia for that kind of different media, but there is that kind of feeling of that, oh, is a book any different to reading an article on a website? I don't know, that's for you to decide. And then total dissociation, fully out your mind, Googling derealization, hating what you find, just Google it and read. And I think that's a really another big thing that runs through the special, this kind of, is everything real? Is it going on? And I think you see that with the kind of Twitch streamer type element to the special, the little flashes of Bo in the corner, the kind of like Fight Club references to be like, is this real? Is this not real? That's really fun. And then, I mean, we're straight back into the kind of climate change message, like the unapparent summer air in early fall, the quiet comprehending of the ending of it all. And that ending of it all line is the like last proper line of the song in terms of the verse, because then we got chorus and then there's like an outro, and that the quiet comprehending of it all is one of the things that I've sat and thought about, and I've come to like, what are the different meanings and interpretations of that. So there's one that's like the suicide element, which he's spoken about a lot, the kind of like, oh, I'm so depressed, I'm thinking about ending it. And then there's the thinking about the ending of the earth, so you sit there and you think, oh, the climate change or the civil war or the nuclear war or whatever, they're thinking of like, what is next for the earth? When is the world going to end? When is it going to heal? What is going to happen to humanity and society? And then I think there's like a third, like kind of more hopeful part, which is like the comprehending of the ending of it all, kind of like the pandemic's going to end, we're going to move into something new. So you kind of think like, oh yeah, you know, it's really hard right now, but it's going to get better, possibly. There is an end in sight for this, or maybe not in sight, but there is an end. And I really like those sort of, I think it works on all levels. I think it really works. And obviously the line before, the unapparent summer air in early fall, is quite funny, because you're talking like, why summer and fall are two different seasons, but the climate change has kind of mixed and merged all of them. But also when you think of summer and fall, you get those kind of like, oh, happy memories of like summer, of like socializing, fall of like Halloween and all that kind of stuff, and like having fun. And I think like it's about looking to the future as well, because the next, once this ends, we are entering summer and then fall, or autumn as we call it. And I think that's where, for me, like kind of the ending of it all is like, oh, this will end, we'll get through this, and then be back to better times. Then we jump back into the chorus about the funny feeling, which is great. And then I think the outro is, hey, what can you say, we were overdue, but it'll be over soon. Which again just really reinforces that point on that last line about, dependent on what you interpret the last line to be. So if you interpret it to be, you know, suicide, then I think it doesn't fit so well. But if you interpret it to be sort of the end of the earth, then it fits very well. Like the we were overdue part, it's like, this was coming, the social revolution, the healthcare crisis, all of this kind of stuff, the over-commoditization, the mass sort of mental health pandemic or epidemic or whatever you want to call it. This was coming and now it's here, but, you know, we'll wait and we can get through it and we can push through it. And then the last interpretation of like the pandemic ending and getting out and being normal again, the new normal or whatever it is, I think that fits the best for this, which is why I kind of got that sort of interpretation into that last line of like, wait and it will be over, just push through and just sit and just get through it, and then we will be back together in better times shortly. I think that's it. And I really loved this song, and I've definitely gone on a ramble, so if you're still here, I appreciate that. And I would love to hear what you think about my thoughts on this song, and what you think about like kind of in general the special, and if you enjoyed it, what were your favourite parts, what were your favourite songs, what was your general interpretation of it all. I really liked it. I think Bo took a portion of himself, which is his kind of like mental state and his sort of self-awareness, and I think he stretched it to the utter limit. And I think like what you're seeing isn't a true representation of who Bo Burnham is as a person, but is a representation of who Bo Burnham wants to be as an artist and what he wants to talk about and criticise and sort of comment on. And I think it works so well. The start is really great, it's really fun. And then it kind of becomes bleaker and bleaker. It really does capture that kind of the way the pandemic played out of like, oh, it's going to be fun for 3 months, like not going to work, or like just having some time to chill, be myself or whatever. And then it just, the dread is just, you know, elongated. I really liked it. I'm going to leave this here, but please do put in the comments down below any sort of opinions and stuff you had about the song, anything you disagree with about my lyric interpretation and analysis, anything you agree with. And until the next video, guys, oh, obviously, like, comment, subscribe. I'm holding a knife off screen here. I just didn't want to put it up because, you know, you don't want to get demonetized by the machine. But yeah, do like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, guys. Till next video, guys. Peace.